Hey there, welcome to Technability. I am Berge. Thank you guys for watching. We are your source for no-nonsense tech. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to check out technability.com. We got some great content up there currently, as well as some great content coming up. Every day we try to update it as thoroughly and as often as possible, so continue to support us. We really truly appreciate it, guys. Again, you're watching Technability. I am Berge, and we're going to get started here with this awesome comparison, this truly in-depth comparison of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and the LG/Google Nexus 5. Alright, so these two phones are definitely fundamentally different. Now clearly they're both running Android. The Galaxy Note 3 has 4.3 with TouchWiz. The LG Nexus 5 is running stock 4.4.2. So let's get started here right off the bat. Looking at the Nexus. Okay, you can see the back here, it's got a matte finish. Right on the front you have a 1080p display, which is rendering 445 pixels per inch. On the bottom you have the speaker and the microphone as well as the charging port. Volume rockers on this side. Power button, SIM card tray. On the top you have the 3.5mm headphone back. Again, going back to the 3.5mm headphone jack, not headphone back. Going back to the rear of the device, you have the matte black finish. You also get this in white, 16 and 32 gigabytes. You have the 8-megapixel camera with flash. Okay, now the screen is at 1080p, rendering 445 pixels per inch. It's got a quad-core 2.3 GHz Snapdragon 800 processor with 2 gigs of RAM with an Adreno 330 GPU. This thing is absolutely blazing fast in terms of its overall speed, and just panning through the screen, you can see it's blazing fast. There's absolutely no lag, no stutter. We do appreciate that in terms of the overall system that they've implemented here with both the hardware and the software. Now, in terms of viewing angles, it does have a true HD IPS display. LCD in other words, but the viewing angles do tend to get washed out in certain angles. I don't know if you can see that here. I know there's kind of a reflection, but you can see right there, it does tend to get a bit washed out, but the screen nonetheless is gorgeous. In direct sunlight, it's really quite viewable in direct sunlight. So we're big fans of the Nexus 5's display. Alright, now going to the Note 3, you have a, oh, by the way, it's 8.5 millimeters in its thickness. The Note 3 is 8.3 millimeters in its thickness. It's got a 1080p display as well, rendering 386 pixels per inch. You have a quad-core 2.3 GHz Snapdragon 800 processor. International one has a octa-core, has Adreno 330 GPU, 5.7-inch 1080p display. It's Super AMOLED. It's absolutely gorgeous. Also has gorgeous viewing angles. On the rear, you can see it's got that fall leather. You have the 13-megapixel camera with flash. The Galaxy Note 3 down there. You know, it's got a nice feel. It's got that stitching on the side. You got plastic with the power button, volume rockers. You got the charging port, and this thing charges super fast. You have the speaker, microphone, and up top you have the 3.5mm headphone jack. So it's an absolutely gorgeous device, no doubt about it. Feels good in the hand, even though it's a fairly bigger device. It actually does feel really good in the hand, really firm and sturdy. And we're big fans. If you guys already haven't seen our individual review of the Note 3, go ahead and check that out. We also have a lot of comparisons that we did with this phone, including our truly in-depth comparison with this and the iPhone 5S. Now you can see the S Pen. By just clicking on this button right here, you get the various different options that they give you, such as Action Memo, Scrapbooker, Screen Write, S Finder, and Pen Window. Okay, going back, you can utilize the S Pen to pan through the displays. You can utilize it for the menu buttons, which you couldn't do on the Note 2. So that's cool. Definitely like that feature. You can also utilize the S Pen on the lock screen, okay, which we'll go ahead and look at right here. You can see that. You got that little watery effect. You can go to the Widgets tab. You can just unlock it simply as well. We're going to go ahead and put that back here and go back to the Nexus. Now, the Nexus is stock KitKat. This is as stock as it gets. If I go to settings here and I go to About Phone, I mean, it doesn't get much more stock than this. This is pure Google Android. Not many customizations, definitely not as many as what you get on TouchWiz, that's for sure. But you do have the speed, you do have the fluidity, you have the absolute sheer pureness of Android here with this system, and it's really something that we do like. I'm a big fan of stock Android. I was flashing CyanogenMod ROMs on various different Samsung and HTC phones. I've been doing that for years. We have reviews of that as well. So I'm a big fan of stock Android. I do like Cyanogen because it has a flurry of customizations, whereas with this build of stock, you don't get the flurry customizations, such as the quick settings panel. You can't remove or add certain settings right here in the quick settings panel with stock, but nonetheless what it comes with is really quite solid. You can see the lock screen, you have access to the notifications as well as the quick settings. You can unlock, of course. You have access to the camera as well, Google Now. Let's go ahead and unlock. Let's look at the lock screen here on the Galaxy Note. Okay, again, going back to the lock screen here, you can see I can hover my finger over, access to the control or to the notification bar, to the quick settings, which in this case with TouchWiz you could customize this. You can add or remove certain settings here. All right, you also have the ability to just swipe down for the widgets, and you can just swipe over and unlock the screen. Okay, now in terms of just overall speed, the Nexus, because because it's pure stock, I believe it's slightly a bit faster. You can see just panning through the displays, really quick, no lag whatsoever. Over here with the Note, it's definitely just as fast, but at the same time, it's not as super duper fast as here with the Nexus. This thing just pans through screens really quick. Taking a widget, moving it around is so easy and so fast. Taking an icon and putting it into another icon to create a folder is super quick as well. Over here with TouchWiz, you can't drag an icon into another icon to create a folder. You actually have to do it manually, which is, I guess it could be a bit tedious, but at the same time, it's still a very functional system. And you can see how the folders look in comparison to the folders here on stock. So we're going to go ahead and just open both of those folders. You can see you got the pretty animations here with TouchWiz, but if you go to the developer options in settings, you can actually disable a lot of those animations. So it depends on whether or not you like the animations, whether you want them to be a bit faster, or whatever your cup of tea is. But if you're looking for just sheer speed, then stock Android on the Nexus 5 is the way to go. Okay, now let's go ahead and just do a few quick speed tests, but before we do that, we're going to multitask. So over here, if you just double tap, or I believe if you double tap, have I already forgotten how to use this note? Okay, there we go. Alright, so if you hold down on the home button, you get the multitasking pane. Now you can see it says no recent apps here, so we're just going to open a few of them and just go ahead and multitask here with the Galaxy Nexus as well. Or not with the Galaxy Nexus, with the Nexus 5. Cut that part out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and multitask here with both devices. You can see on the Galaxy Note 3, you have the option to close all, Google Task Manager. You could just simply swipe them away and just close all. Is a lot easier. Over here with the Nexus 5 with KitKat, stock KitKat, you have to swipe them away one by one. But again, it's so fast. I mean, you just literally just keep swiping them away. It's not like you're going to be sitting there and swiping for more than literally about 5 to 10 seconds. So both are definitely quick in their multitasking abilities, and both are thorough and detailed. Now looking at the notification bars on both as well, you can see the blacks on the Note 3 are definitely a bit darker because Super AMOLED, obviously the blacks are darker. But the whites on the Nexus 5 are slightly a bit more accurate than the whites on the Super AMOLED. Now 1080p Super AMOLED has definitely addressed the issue with various blue or yellow tints, but nonetheless LCD displays still generate better whites in terms of lighter colors. So again, you can see the notifications here. I could just swipe them away. Going back to the quick settings panel, you have a bunch of options here on the Note 3, whereas you don't have many on the Nexus. Now, do you? With KitKat, you get what they give you. With the Galaxy Note 3, with TouchWiz, there's a multitude of various different options, such as multi-window, S-Beam, NFC, Air View, Air Gesture. If we were to go to multi-window, one of my favorite features with the Note 3 is the ability to multitask in a multitude of ways. So if I was to go to pen window, for example, okay, and just draw a window here. All right, let's say I want to open the internet. Okay, now at the same time, I can click on this multi-window panel over here, take Chrome and just put it down here. All right, now I want to, for example, take YouTube and put it right up here. Okay, so now I have three different tabs open, right? Now what I can do is minimize this pen window right here, go home, and you can see where the pen window is right there. Click on the S Pen again, open pen window, draw another pen window, and let's say I want to open my calculator. Okay, so there's my calculator. Hey, you know what? I'm going to minimize that one as well. And guess what? I'm going to open up another tab, another pen window tab. Let's just do it. Don't show me again. All right, now I want to open up the phone, okay, because I want to dial someone. Dialer. Okay, now I want to minimize that. So you could see, I mean, this thing literally is true multitasking, and that's because it has 3 gigabytes of RAM. So because of the 3 gigabytes of RAM, you have really true multitasking here with this device. Again, I can put Facebook here. I can put Chrome right down there. All right, you can see both of them. And I want to open up the dialer. I could do that and just put that right here, for example. I want to open up the calculator and put it right there, for example. And I want to open up the browser. Put it right there. Now, do you really need this many windows open at once? Probably not, but nonetheless, I'm letting you know that you do have the ability to do this. This is true multitasking. It's basically a PC. It's a PC in your hand. It's what really smartphones should be in many ways. And that's one of the great and appealing things about the Note 3 is the ability to multitask to this extent. And again, the 3 gigabytes of RAM definitely have something to do with that. So you can open a multitude of different windows and have a legitimate smart phone experience on this Galaxy Note 3. With the Nexus, you really don't have that much that many options in terms of multitasking. I can open Chrome, for example, and then I can open my dialer, okay? And I can just click on the multitasking pane and go back to Chrome, click again, go back to my dialer. And it's fast. It's fast enough to be able to just pan through each tab or each application fairly quickly. But nonetheless, it still doesn't have that true multitasking capability as the Note 3. Now, there are third-party apps that you can download that will assist you with various different multi-windows here with the Nexus. But in terms of just pure out-of-the-box multitasking, nothing. And I'm talking about no phone on the market right now compares to the Note 3. Okay, let's go ahead and open some third-party apps such as Facebook and compare both of those. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open Facebook here, Facebook here. Okay, you can see there's a slight little bit of lag there when you try to open it on the Nexus. I don't know why that is. That's an issue that I think Google will address. But you can see just in terms of both Facebooks, they're both fast. They're both very responsive when you pan through. You know, really, it's a good system on both. Click on the tab right here, click on the tab right here. And again, multitasking, you can just click right there on the multitasking button, which is on-screen navigation keys on the 4.95-inch display, which does take a little bit of space out of the display, but nonetheless, it's still a nice big screen, and I can just swipe them away. Okay, now obviously you have Hangouts integration. You have messages here with the Note 3. Okay, so if I was to just go to this text right here, I can't gesture back. Okay, what I could do is I can make the text larger. I think you could do that by pinching. Yeah, you can pinch it and make the text larger. All right, over here with Hangouts, you do have the ability to just swipe back. It's a gesture-based system, so I could just swipe back to get back to where I was. I can swipe that away. In terms of both keyboards, okay, let's go ahead and look at both keyboards here. All right, so this is using a custom keyboard right here, but I can always go here to select input key. This is Swift key, and just click on Samsung keyboard, and you can see the stock Samsung keyboard. Very easy to type on because it's such a big keyboard, and the KitKat keyboard is also very easy to type on because it's very responsive. They've definitely made it responsive in the sense that it's easy to type on, it's fast. You have the emoticons, the variety of emoticons. I try to say that right here, guys. But you can see just in terms of overall typing, very easy, very fast, very fluid. Hey, how are you today? Sorry if that's a bit bright there. Okay, and over here it's the same situation. Hey, how are you today? Very easy. You can also use the S Pen and swipe if you want. Hey, how are you today? You can also click right here. You can see you can write it out. Hey. Okay. You can click right here. Go to drawing mode. I could draw a picture and send it as an MMS picture. Really cool. I like these features. And of course you have the attach feature. You can attach documents. You can attach photos. You can attach videos, whatever fits in there. I'm trying to use the S Pen on the Nexus. You can see contacts, location, etc. So I can add a variety of different things here. Okay, close it out. Now, in terms of Google Now, obviously you do have My Magazine. Okay, over here you have My Magazine by swiping up. You should also have S Voice, but whatever reason it may be disabled here. Now check this out, guys. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Navigate to Pasadena, California.
Navigating to Pasadena, CA.
Okay, Google. Who is the 14th President of the United States?
Franklin Pierce was the 14th President of the United States.
Okay, Google. How old is Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt is 50 years old. Brad Pitt is 50 years old.
Okay, Google. What is 6 minus 6 plus 3 minus 6 plus 9 to the second power?
The answer is 78.
Okay, Google. Define academy.
Academy. A place of study or training in a special field.
Okay, Google. Tell me about Christianity. Okay, well that one's not gonna, but it gives me the news about Christianity. Navigate to Elite Adventure Tours.
Navigating to Elite Adventure Tours.
Elite Adventure Tours. Thank you, Tony. This is my good friend Tony. It's his business. Elite Adventure Tours. You can also check them out on YouTube as well. You can see automatic navigation. They're over here. It's obviously going to give me the various third-party apps to use to navigate to Elite Adventure Tours. I'm going to just close out of this because you can see how navigation works. It's the same on both. You have Google Maps, obviously. Okay, now let's go back to the respective galleries on both. So you can see Google Now. I love Google Now. I think Google Now is the best voice system, bar none, on a smartphone. Obviously, you have Siri. A lot of people are going to say, well, Siri is, this, Siri is that. But in my personal opinion, I am a fan. You can see view mode here on the app drawer. I'm going to just do alphabetical list. Siri is good, but Google Now just, I don't know. It just has a different level of optimization and usability, in my opinion. All right, let's go to downloads here. Let's just go to Instagram here. Let's click on this photo. Okay, you can see how both systems work in terms of gallery, pinch zoom, very fast on both. Of course, you could share it, and third-party apps do sync in here, so various third-party apps will be added to this sharing option, to the sharing menu, which I like. I'm a big fan of that. You do also have both editing options. So again, if I was to click here on the menu button, I can go to edit. Click here, I can go on edit as well. Now, the Note definitely has more editing options in terms of putting your signature on it, utilizing the S Pen for various different editing options. But you can see both have various and variety of different editing options. Let's X out of here. Now, another great thing about the Note is I can take the S Pen and just hover it over the picture, and it'll give me details about the picture. So if I was to go here and just hover over it and click on the button right here. Oh, that's going to take me to the window, excuse me. Let's go back here. Okay, so if I have an album, for example, you'd have to have this enabled. But in any case, you can hover it over and it'll give you little thumbnails of the pictures and whatnot. So again, I can go here and pan through my various photos and albums and whatnot. So both are good in their respective ways in terms of the gallery, which now brings us to the cameras. Okay, now this is where it gets really fun because, and I'm going to just pan this camera over this way here. Bring it up. Okay. Now in terms of both cameras, okay, the Note 3 is a 13 megapixel. It's got 4K recording, video recording. It's got burst shot. So you have a variety of features here with the Note 3. Whereas with the Nexus 5, really, it's very simplistic. Gotta hang that up. With the Nexus 5, it's very simplistic. You just have, take pictures by clicking on the shutter button. You also have photosphere as well as panorama. Over here, you have various different modes by clicking on mode. You also have filters and all that good stuff with the Note 3. Now, in terms of picture quality, both take really solid photos, but the Note 3 definitely does have one of the better cameras in the market. And that's something that if you check out our thorough review of the Note 3, or if you check out some of our comparisons, such as the one with the 5S, which I think has a fantastic camera, you'll see that really the camera on the Note 3 is arguably the best camera in the market right now. But I will say this about the Nexus 5, they've definitely upped it from the Nexus 4. I know the Nexus 4 had its fair share of camera issues and people were complaining about it, but you can see both photos here. In terms of detail, of course, you have the 13 megapixel, so the Note takes really detailed photos. You can see it's kind of blurry on the Nexus, maybe because the autofocus wasn't fully correct, but the Note 3 takes absolutely gorgeous photos. All right, and again, you can edit it from, you can go to your various different photos from down here. You can edit it, add a signature to it with the S Pen, or if you want, if you're in the gallery and you just feel like opening up a web browser, you can go to Pen Window and open up the web browser from right here, Internet. Okay, but you can see the Google Now tabs are also now to the far left of the display. Okay, so that's cool. It's something that they've added with the Nexus primarily. In other words, if you have KitKat on the Nexus 4, you're not going to get this tab right here on the far left-hand side. But it's a nice little feature. It's almost like blink feed that you get with HTC Sense. All right, we're going to go ahead and just X out of here. Go look at some video quality. All right, and both are running on their respective networks. Okay, so let's look at YouTube. Open them both at the same time. Okay, you can see there's a slight bit of stutter on both. Okay, so let's do technability. And let's do technability. All right, we're going to go ahead and search both here at the same time. Here we are in YouTube right now. All right, we're going to go ahead and look at the most recent video that I posted, which is the Nexus with 4.4.2 versus iOS 7.1 Beta 3. You can utilize the S Pen here. See that?
Best thing I ever did for my home business.
Hey there, welcome to Technability. I'm Barrett. I've got a lot of requests asking me to do a comparison between KitKat 4.4.2 and iOS 7.1 Beta 3, which was just a quick speed comparison. So what I'm going to do is close out of all the apps that we have multitasking right now, and what we're going to do is simply open and close certain apps. This released. I am going to do a comparison, but it's going to be a quick speed
Both have really good quality. You can see it's a bit brighter on the Nexus because again, or the Note 3, because again, the Super AMOLED display will do that. You have access to notifications,
So you can see there's various folders here on iOS
quick
7,
settings.
0.1 beta 3. You can also create
You have the
folders here
toggle.
with
One thing that I really like is you have the stock toggles here with the Note. You can see all the toggles right up here. You don't have the toggles with the Nexus. Again, it's not very customizable. You guys have to keep that in mind. And now going back to the settings, which takes me to the customizations, you can see the settings differences here. Obviously on stock Android, that's it. That's all it is. You have sound display, storage, tap and pay when you have NFC enabled, accessibility, developer options, etc. Here with the Note 3 on the other end, you have a variety of options and settings. Location services, lock screen, one-handed operation, Samsung account, whatever, etc. All these motion gesture features, S Pen features, accessibility, accessory features. So a lot of settings here with the Note 3, and some people like that. Some people prefer more settings, something that they can play around with and fiddle with and kind of make their phone their own experience. The Nexus, I believe, it's more customizable than other operating systems on the market, but it's not as customizable as the Note. Definitely not in the same category in that sense, but you could put custom ROMs. You can always flash a custom ROM if you want more customizations, something such as CM11, which would definitely add customizations here to the Nexus if you're looking into flashing a custom ROM. Development is good on both devices, by the way. You can see it's a lot more colorful on the Note. Something that they're going for is that whole colorful theme. Nexus, it's not as colorful, but nonetheless, it's still a good system. Now, overall, both of these, I'm a fan of both of these phones. They're really different fundamentally. You can see the widgets tab here as well. All right, over here, if you were to just long press, you can get your wallpapers plus your widgets, and the wallpapers are the stock wallpapers that you get with the with KitKat. See the variety of different wallpapers here. High quality, both have high quality wallpapers, no doubt about that. Okay, let's go home here. Go back, long press. Go to apps and widgets, and it's just going to take you back to the app drawer. You can pinch in here if you want to go through the widgets like that. Over here, in order to go to the widgets, you got to just long press and then click on widgets, and there they are, all the widgets in their respective stock form. Okay, exit out of that. Well, you can also do this as well, by the way. Go back to apps and widgets. You can just pan through them like that. So, and you can also disable apps. If you go to apps in the app drawer, you can just click here, view type, for example. Let's do customizable grid. You can click back here and click on edit. And you can actually disable various apps. It'll give you that little minus and whatnot. I don't know if Verizon allows you to do that, but I know the T-Mobile model that I had did allow me to do that. Okay. Should be uninstall disable apps. There you go. So you can do that as well. Okay. Going back to the browsers here. See both their respective browsers. Technability. Technability.com. Thank you guys for supporting us, continuing to support Technability. We've almost got 6,000 subscribers and growing. The website's growing. We've got a lot of great content. Again, thank you guys for subscribing, for supporting us, for checking out Technability.com. Also, don't forget to check out Elite Adventure Tours on YouTube, something that you guys definitely need to check out. They got some great stuff. They do great tours out in LA. My man Tony will hook you guys up. Check them out on YouTube. And if you're ever out in the LA area, he's the guy you need to call. He is your connection. All right, you can see pinch zoom on both. Super fast, super fluid, no lag whatsoever. Panning through them. All right, go on a various article, for example. Okay, you have reader mode here on the Note. See, right there, it's still loading on the Note 3. Various different options. You have the 3-button menu right here. Okay, in any case, you can see the tabs here while that's loading. You've got 9 tabs open. You can just swipe them away. Very simply swipe them away. Okay, and we can just complete action. Swipe, 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 swipe them away, and they're gone. Over here with Chrome, Okay, so I did that there. Swipe, 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 swipe. Okay, close them out. All right, and again, we're going back to multitasking here. Swipe. Just close all. And they're closed. Okay. Alright, so you can see now in terms of both phones, they're both fast, they're both fluid. If you want to know about quadrant scores, the Note 3 gets ridiculous quadrant scores, above, I think, 15,000. The Nexus isn't as good, even though it's got just as good hardware. It doesn't have the same amount of RAM. I got about 8,600 on Antutu. I got about 25,000 on the Nexus, about 35,000 on the Note 3. In terms of SunSpider web scores, I believe I had like a 918 on SunSpider web for the Note. And about the same, maybe a bit less on the Nexus. So both are very good systems. Both are super fast. If you're looking for a fast experience, if you're looking for just a pure, fast, and clean experience, then the Nexus is for you. If you're looking for customizations, S-Pen features, something that has true multitasking and is more of a computer than a phone, then the Note is for you. Both are really good devices. In terms of pricing, of course, the Nexus is only $349 off contract. So you can get that for fairly cheap off contract at the Google Play Store. The Note you can get on contract or through one of the various carrier finances. But nonetheless, both are great in terms of what you're paying. Both will definitely appeal to you, whether or not you want something simple or whether or not you want something a bit more complex, but with a lot more features, has a learning curve. I think the Note has more of a learning curve than the Nexus. We like both. We're fans of both, and we would recommend either of these devices if you're in the market for them. Both are the latest and greatest. They have great support, and also at the same time, Samsung is going to continue supporting the Note 3, and obviously Google is going to continue sending out timely updates for the Nexus 5. Alright, thank you guys for watching Technability. This was my truly in-depth comparison of the Note 3 versus the Nexus 5. Again, I am Baird. You're watching Technability. Don't forget to check out www.technability.com. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Oh yeah, one more thing before I get finished here. Battery life. Fantastic on the Note 3. Also really good on the Nexus. 3200 milliamp battery on the Note. It's absolutely super duper great in terms of battery life. But so is the Nexus. I've had no complaints. With heavy use, both have really good battery life. But because of the sheer size, the Note 3 obviously has slightly better battery life. Alright, again, Baird, technability.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for supporting us, and thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a safe weekend.